Well, hello there. Welcome. My name is Wen, and today we are going to be drawing I would say, like a hybrid creature. Um, I decided to draw an emu, as well as an emu that has plants on it, like mostly flowers and stuff. So I think I'm gonna turn it into a Pokemon. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. And and yeah, if any of you don't know what an emu is, it's looks like an ostrich, but maybe a little bit smaller. Um, and yeah, it's a flightless big bird with long legs. So I think most people know what emus are, um, but yeah, we're gonna start drawing. So you're if it's the first time you guys come here and you see this, um, if it's your first time here, my name is Wen, and I just like to draw and make art, hence the name of my channel. So, yeah, let's get started, shall we? So, usually, first of all, what I like to do is I like to just um, think about like the perspective. So, with this drawing, I'm thinking I want it to stand kind of like this in a way. That's kind of like its body and legs, and then its neck would be kind of turning this way with its head kind of looking up a little bit. And yeah, that's kind of like pretty much like the rough um, and mostly how it goes. Hopefully you guys can see this. But yeah, let's go ahead and try to do this. Um, Sorry, I say a lot. It's because my mind is trying to think of something to say, but yeah, just sit back and relax and just watch me draw. That's pretty much the whole point of this video. Uh, and hopefully, maybe you can learn some tips. I don't know. But yeah, it's most of my drawings are like, I don't know what you call it, like kind of free form, I guess. There's no like technique or anything. I'm not like trained in anything. I'm just a guy drawing in his room. So, yeah, nothing to it. Um, so yeah, basically what I'm doing right now is I'm just creating like the body of it, and then we'll start adding more details. Um, if you don't know, you probably don't know, but I like to create as many details as I can in my drawings because I feel like the more details that you incorporate into your drawings, the better it looks. So that's really what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna have to really make sure that this creature looks remotely almost like an emu and not like some giant chicken. Um, so yeah, let's see. So usually emus have like really long, thick, powerful legs with claws. Are they called claws or talons? I'm not sure. But anyway, like kind of like that. Very strong, powerful legs. Legs that could knock you over if you piss it off. Um, so yeah, oh, I think the legs might be a little too far apart, so maybe I should put it like over here. Don't worry, it looks bad at the beginning, but don't worry, I'm gonna fix it later on. So this is just the beginning. It's a process, you know, like drawing. It's all a process. Um, no rushing into it. You just kind of like just let go and let it kind of flow, you know? And I I don't really believe in mistakes, especially when it comes to drawing. I I just think that mistakes are just opportunities to make it better. So if something happens and I mess up, then that gives me a chance to fix it and make it better or turn it into something else. So this is kind of like my emu. Hopefully it looks like an emu. Trying to think what an emu looks like. Oh my god. I think this is what its neck looks like. I don't think its neck really has like feathers on it. At least that's what I think. I don't know. Do they have feathers on their necks? Maybe like really small feathers. Oh, I don't know. But anyway, it doesn't really matter because this emu is like a Pokemon, you know, it's got a little bit of fantasy involved in it. So yeah, so basically how I usually start with these creations is like sorry, I just, you know, create like the base of it, the impression, and then we'll get to the fun part where we can incorporate coloring and things like that. And yeah, do they have these little spikes on their legs, or is it like I don't think they do. I don't know. I'm not really. It doesn't even matter. Like this is all fantasy. Like that's the beauty of art. You know, it doesn't have to be indicative of what real life is, and like the I don't know what you call it, like the laws of nature. So yeah, this is kind of oh yeah, make it look like a grape or something, you know. But this is kind of like what I kind of want it to look like. So now, okay, and then we're also usually like with my drawings, I like to make it stand in like a landscape, you know, like just draw a little bit of ground here and there, maybe with some like plants or trees or whatever. Yeah, I don't know, just plants, grass, whatever, you know. I usually don't draw like a full background. It's just like an accent, you know, just to show like a little bit of its environment and blah blah blah. But yeah, that's pretty much what it is. So the next step would be to um, use a pen to trace and create the details of this drawing now. Um, so yeah, most of my drawings, it starts out with pencil and then I trace it over with pen. So it's like, um, what do you call it? Mostly ink style drawings. And then I also will color it with color pencil. I don't really use like watercolors because I'm not really like a really good painter or anything like that. But Maybe I'll try it in the future, who knows. But yeah, this is kind of like the base of it. I don't know what I want to name it, like Pokemon always have like really creative names for these creatures. I don't know how you would combine emu with something that's related to plants. Um, if I do find something, I'll probably name it in the end. So we'll see. But yeah, okay. I think I'm going a little overboard with the details with the pencil. So I'm gonna go get my pen, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna start like tracing it and stuff. Okay, so now that we have the foundation, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use any regular pen. You don't have to use any fancy art pen or anything like that. You can just find any pen. That's what I do because I doodle a lot. Whether it's in a meeting or in a class or when I'm just bored waiting at the airport, I like to doodle a lot. And most of my better drawings and creations come from when I'm just bored and I just start drawing and doodling and whatever. Um, but most of the time, I do that with a pen. So I'm kind of used to that now. And it's great because you don't have to go out and spend so much money on really expensive art material. The only thing I had to get was colored pencils and an art book, and that's pretty much it. But anyway, so the next step in this process is we are going to start adding in the details. So basically, I am going to start at the beak here. And its nose. And then this, I don't know what you call it, this piece of skin. And we can start drawing like the little feathers, or half feathers, half plants, I guess. Um, I'm thinking that I really want this to look like it's part plant. So these crusts kind of look like your typical bird crusts. So I'm actually going to make it into like a leaf or like a little clover type leaf. So I was thinking for its body, um, I think I want to do, so its feathers would get a little bit longer when it comes closer to the body, and it'll resemble sort of like giant leaves almost. So like eventually the leaves or the feathers would get bigger and it'll start resembling like a giant bush with a ton of feathers, with a ton of leaves, um, and flowers sticking out of it. So feathers do kind of resemble leaves, they have like the little veins and the middle part and the shape of it as well. So you know what? I think I'm just gonna start just adding the feathers for now, and then once we have like the details down a little bit, then we'll go into the feathers and really get down into the details of like the feathers and the veins and stuff like that. But as of right now, I'm just gonna draw like a bunch of long leaves and stuff like that for now. I'm thinking about doing, it's definitely going to be green. Its body, the majority of its body is going to be green, but I think the flowers need to be something like a red or pink or purple, something like that. I think that's an appropriate color for this type of creature. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think I'm getting too way overboard with the details again. That's okay. The more details, the better. I'm not even done adding. This is just like the first phase of adding details. Yeah, I know I can go a little crazy on the details. And then we'll also be adding shadows as well. So, so it's art, art. It's not a process. Um, Even though I'm doing a video, I think I'm gonna speed this up. But with this, it takes time. Art takes time, and you have to be in the zone. Like for me, I usually get into the zone when I start doing like little details and stuff like this. I think I might need to use like a lighter pencil next time because usually I don't do a pencil that is this dark, but I wanted to make sure that you guys can see what I'm drawing, um, so that's why I chose a darker pencil, but that's okay. It'll look good when I erase all of the pencils and then we get to see the fruits of our labor. hopefully you guys are enjoying this. Um, I know my voice is calming sometimes, and it could lull people to sleep. So if you're, you know, kind of getting drowsy, that's great because it's actually one of my goals uh, for this video and for this channel is a little bit of ASMR, to help people relax and go to bed. Go to bed. Um, but I don't mind. I sometimes chuckle in my head whenever like when I'm talking to someone and they start yawning. I'm like, here we go. Yeah, that's that's my voice. That's what happens when I speak. Can't help it. But yeah, I'm planning on a lot of different things to draw later on. Mm, we'll see. Maybe some humans, maybe more animals, maybe more plants. Who knows? But I think we're good with that. So now we're gonna do the legs. How am I gonna do the legs? Okay. Um, I think this thing is starting to lose ink. I might need to get another pen. Alright. There we go. Oh no. There we go with the details again. They kind of look like tree trunks, like a bird's legs, like ostrich's legs. It kind of looks like a tree trunk. So it fits with this aesthetic. Okay. Do birds have? Maybe they do have like a hind leg kind of spur. Is that what you call it? A spur? Like how like cowboy boots they have that little spike at the end. Is that what you call it? A spur? I think that's what it's called. I'm not sure. I'm not a what do you call it? Ornithologist, someone who studies birds. So I don't really know exactly what they're called. But they do remind me of spurs. I think I need to get a new pen. Or it might just be reacting to like the pencil markings. Alright. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to erase most of this. And then we're going to take a look and see how it turns out with the pen. So, and then make adjustments from there. right. So, I'm already seeing a couple things I need to improve on. Is this little crest of it, of his, her or hers? I don't know if it's a male or female. I need to make sure it's a little bit bigger and not too sparse looking. And then now I go right into it and start adding the little details, the little shadows and stuff like that. And this part I might speed up for you guys because I want you guys to sit through and watch me add all these little things because it might take a while. It might take a while. That's what I'm saying. It might take a while. You see how just adding a little bit of details can make such a difference in like how a drawing looks. The more you put into it, the better it is. It takes time, but I enjoy it. I enjoy doing this. It's very therapeutic. I hope you enjoyed too. Don't forget to don't forget to subscribe. Oh my God, when if you like this, if you like watching people draw, being inspired to draw yourself, looking at art while being relaxed, maybe fall asleep, I don't know. It's up to you. Then subscribe because I have a lot more coming. This is my first video, so be nice. And what I like about just using regular pens is you can kind of create shading just by how hard you press on it. So like you might have seen me do a little bit of shading here and there. That's what I'm talking about. Um, yeah, that's what I like about using regular pens. Plus, they're cheap or free. You don't really have to spend a lot of money. And if I don't have to spend money, then I'm good. Especially nowadays. Everything's so expensive. Okay. We'll worry about the background later. But yeah, this is really my art style. Is just a lot of details, time, effort. But I enjoy it, you know? This is like, this is kind of like my form of meditation. You just kind of get into the zone and you just. So, as you can see, um, I've added in a lot of shadowing to create a little bit of texture as well as depth. Um, and then added in a lot of details, you know, and also I gave a little bit of shadow behind the flowers because I feel like the flowers don't pop out enough. So I just did a little shadowing behind them so that you can see them beneath all the foliage. But yeah, that's usually my art style. It's just as many details as possible, and then we just go from there. Now, for the legs, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to just add in these little lines, these little irregular lines. You see how, like, you see the difference? The more details that you add and the more love that you put into your art, the better it looks. Hopefully it looks good to you guys. In my opinion, I think it looks good. It's not the best, but that's okay. I'm not Picasso or anything. I don't intend to be. I wonder what animal I will draw in my next video. I'm thinking a dinosaur. I love dinosaurs. When I was a kid, I was obsessed with Jurassic Park. I know, I'm aging myself. But I was obsessed with dinosaurs. Like, after I watched Jurassic Park, I was drawing my own dinosaurs, creating my own dinosaurs. I even I even went through the dictionary to look up Latin words so that I can name my dinosaurs that I created. Because dinosaurs, their names are Latin. So I learned a little bit of Latin when I was a little boy obsessed with dinosaurs. I still am. I feel like I'm still a kid at heart. I feel like it's always good to have that little kid inside of you. It's what makes you stay young a little bit, you know, have that energy. Because otherwise, it's just going to be miserable, you know, you're just going to end up being really pessimistic and like miserable. It's just kind of have a little bit of fun now, not every now and then, you know what I mean? You see how carried away I can get with all these little details. This is what happens. This is what happens when I like get into the zone. I just go crazy. I don't mean to be. It just happens. Promise you guys we're almost done. For those who are still awake. Add these little creases for its talents. And a little bit of shadowing for definition, so that it doesn't look like it has paper legs. If this was a Pokemon, its stats would probably be, it would have high speed and maybe a good attack as well as good special attack, because it's, you know, it's part grass, so usually grass types have higher special attack stats. Oh no! They usually have higher special attack stats, so it's like a speedy special sweeper. Maybe it could be a mixed sweeper too, because you know these legs, these talons, they can be quite dangerous. Don't worry. If you draw over the lines, or if, you know, if you're drawing and you go over the lines, it's not the end of the world. You just try to shade it in. All right, I think we're at a good point now where we pretty much added a lot of detail. So the next step would be to color it. I typically use color pencil as my medium. So yeah, I think I'm gonna use like a dark green, maybe like light green here, and then a dark green here and here for its body, and then the flowers would be like light pink or something. But I really want it to be kind of like an ombre effect, so maybe like the leaves will be lighter and then it goes darker down here. Um, but yeah, we'll see. So yeah, phase 3 coming up. Okay, so next step is to color, and what I usually do is I usually just go light at the beginning, and then I shade it a little bit darker at the end just to give that depth. So right now I'm just coloring it lightly. I'm thinking its head and its body is going to be around the same color, and then its neck is going to be something different. I still am not sure. I still am not sure what color its neck is going to be, but well, eventually we will find out. Right, and then yeah, I'm thinking its body is going to be more of like a evergreen type of color, maybe with little hints of yellow and light lime green here and there. But for me, when I'm coloring my art, it's just about building, 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 building on top of color and color until it becomes like the right shade. Yeah, pink. Let's try pink. So just kind of gradually add the pink and the green. Just a little bit here and there, and then eventually more as it comes. We might add some yellow here and there later on. Okay. Now I think I'm gonna do yellow for the beak. Yellow for the beak, and then maybe like a darker orangey shade for whatever you call it. Its skin around its beak. I don't know what you call these. Is it kind of like its eyelids or something? Maybe add some orange here, just a little bit. All right, looks good. I think I'm gonna make its eyes red. I think that'll be nice. Yeah. Let's see. And then I think I'm just gonna go with I think I'll go with like maybe like a yellowish orangish kind of gooseberry looking color for its berries underneath here. I've never really had gooseberries, but I've looked it up and it looks really cool. It's like yellow. It's like a really cool yellow. I think that's kind of like a nice little thing to incorporate into this creature. And then with its leaves up at the top, I'm thinking like a gradient, like a little bit of the reddish magenta, and then we add the lighter green on top of it. When it comes to color, I love blending different types. Even like 3 different types of shades in one. It just creates like this really nice colorful effect, so that it's not so monochrome, you know? Maybe I have to make this a little bit more green. All right, I think that looks good. Let's see. Maybe we'll add in a little bit of yellow here and there, you know, just to give it a little bit of extra fun. It's coming alive. monsters. I don't know what I want to do with the flowers. I think I want to do maybe like pink. Pink and yellow. I mean, it's kind of like giving that vibe, so I'm just gonna do it pink and yellow. Yeah. There's some leaves here. Do some pink here. Some pink here. I need to color the leaves here. Okay, I think we're good. Some here. Just sporadically, you know? Because that's what nature is sporadic. Even though there are patterns in nature, it's not perfect or anything. It's pretty freeform. And that's what I want this to be, is freeform. Okay, so maybe we'll do one here. Oh yeah, these two. Okay, so now maybe yellow. Maybe with a hint of orange in the center. Just to give it that depth, that interest. We're not rushing, we're not, you know, trying to finish this on time or whatever. I'm just taking my time and I'm just enjoying the process, you know? It's like that saying, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. Hopefully, I don't know. We'll see. Oh, as you can see, I changed the lighting because I realized that if I put the light over to the right here, my hand's shadow is covering most of the drawing, so you didn't really see it. So I moved it over to this side, so now you can kind of see it. So I do apologize if my hand's shadow was blocking the drawing earlier in the video. Okay, I think this one needs to be pink. And then we can continue with our little daisies. I still don't know what to name this. It's gotta do something. It's gotta have to do something with an emu and like a plant or something, you know, obviously. But I'm just not that creative when it comes to naming animals. Yeah, you see, this is kind of like my technique for just adding a little bit of definition. Is just a little hint of darker colors in the flowers to give it that depth, that interest. Oh, how did I miss that one? I'm gonna do pink for you. Okay. I think we're good. Okay. Yeah, okay. Here. Okay. And then now for the legs. I think for the legs we're gonna go with this like brownish orange, this brownish yellow look, because you know it's skin. So that's what I'm gonna go with. I just thought of something. If I had this creature as my pet, I would definitely nickname it Plumeria. This is, that's such a perfect name for a creature like this, Plumeria. Yes, Plumeria, the emu. The magical emu that will fly you. Well, emus. Well, yeah, it can fly. Who cares? This is a different type of emu. This emu can fly. It could cast magic. It's a very special type of emu. Just don't piss it off, otherwise it's gonna kick you to the moon. A benevolent creature of the forest. Okay, so now I'm gonna start adding in some more color. Some more vibrant green. Just to brighten it up a little bit more. Just in some areas, not in all areas, because I still want to create that like definition, that depth. It's kind of hard to see where one leaf starts and one ends, but I guess that's kind of like what you see in like a large bush or like a really dense forest or trees. You really don't know when a certain leaf will start and end. So just add a little bit of green here and there, just so that, you know, it's not like a flat picture. You know, there's a little bit of depth to it. For me, it's all about layering. Layering, layering, layering. Layering. I can't say it. Layering. Good cheese. It's all about layering, but not too much, because I don't want this to look like a clown, you know what I mean? I want it to look cohesive. So now that we have like most of it colored, I'm gonna go in now with my black and I'm gonna just fill in some of these darker areas ever so lightly to really emphasize the shadows. Like here. Here. All right, so this is kind of what it is. I might add a little bit of something later just to kind of finish it all off, but this is kind of like how I do my drawings. Oh yeah, also the background, I need to do that as well. I'm just so fixated on this bird. I mean, it is the star of the show. Okay. Oh yeah, I think I need to make its eyes just a little bit more defined. There we go. I think we are good. Maybe just add a little bit more green to these feathers or leaves, I guess. I don't know. A little bit of green to help it kind of pop. I think we're at a good point right now. I'm probably going to notice something later on and make tiny little adjustments and, you know, maybe add a little bit more color here and there. But I think we're at a really good point. So that's kind of how I do it. And then to add more definition, whoops, oh my God, I'm so clumsy. To add more definition, I sometimes use this Micron 05 pen. You can get it at any art store. I got this from Michael's, but this is the 0.45 millimeter pen, and it's very thin, but it just like it just when I outline some areas, it just adds a little bit more definition. I don't know how many times I'm gonna say it in this video, but it just adds a little bit. It just makes some elements pop out. So I think I'm gonna do that as my next step, and then we'll finish it off with creating the background and all that. So okay. All right. So after we add a little bit of color to some of these leaves, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use this special pen here to outline some of the shadows and shapes to kind of make it stand out and add a little bit of depth to this drawing. So I feel like this is maybe too green. Sometimes I make edits throughout the drawing process, but you know, it's all good. Okay. Plumeria is its name. It is a grass type, as you can see. It lives a very peaceful life, but if aggravated, will either use a move called Razor Leaf, where it throws or expels leaves from its plumage, or from its body that is razor sharp, hence the name, that can easily cut through wood. I don't know. So don't piss it off. Or it'll just kick you. Alright. I think this is good enough. We'll see. So now, this is usually what I do after I color, is I take this pen and I kind of go over a little bit of some of these little details very lightly. Just to add some extra depth and definition. There I am again with the word definition. I don't know why I'm obsessed with that word. Word of the day. Oops. Just use it to make it kind of stand out a little bit. Kind of clean up some of the lines too. Just do it very lightly, very gently, because this isn't pencil. Once you make it, once you draw over it, it's kind of hard to fix it. Okay. There you go. Make it stand out a little bit. Not too much. We don't want this to be like super outlined. Because just a little bit. Usually it's not a necessary part of the process, but I just feel like if I just add just a little bit of pen here and there, it'll create like this really nice definition and depth to it. So the techniques that I'm showing you here is just basically how I do it. It might not be how you do it, so you just gotta, you know, develop your own style and you go with that. Do what's best for you, because at the end of the day, it's your art, it's your work, and you have the right to do whatever you want to it and make yourself feel good about it at the end of the day. So, you know, if you try to, I mean, it's always good to listen to other people's advice, but you also have to just trust yourself and do things that make you happy. And I enjoy doing this type of art style. Usually when I get really involved with like the details, it just reinforces my love for this type of art, giving it a little TLC. I hope you guys enjoy it too. And I hope the ones who are asleep because of my talking, hopefully they wake up so that they can see the fruits of my labor. Literally fruit. And I love doing this part. I love outlining the flowers and just making them pop. You know, because in the beginning the flowers just look like they were just kind of like melting into the leaves. But with this, I will make it pop out and add a little bit of depth to the drawing. I'm just gonna kind of reinforce the veins of the leaves here so that it doesn't look like I'm just outlining the outside of the leaves, if that makes any sense. Like I kind of want a little bit of the veins to kind of pop out too, so it kind of everything looks cohesive and not like I drew just the outline of the leaf. Sometimes it's hard for me to get my thoughts across when I'm talking. I'm a very analytical person, so the things that I think in my head, I try to articulate, but it just comes out as like word salad. And I don't know how to fix that. Maybe go do speech classes. Alright, enough of that. Let's get to it. Alright, I think that's good enough. Good, that's enough refinement, okay? So we're gonna, oh boy, we're gonna do the legs. I think the legs are good enough. I don't really need to do much defining. I'm not sure if there are this many creases on a bird's legs. Actually, I don't think there's any really, because emus and ostriches' legs are pretty thick and not as tree trunk like. But I guess with this situation, it kind of works because this is a plant hybrid, plant bird hybrid, so it's kind of fitting that its legs are kind of like tree trunks. All right, so the bird is done. So now all I have to do is to draw the landscape, color it in, and we are pretty much finished. But this is kind of like this is kind of like my process in drawing my creatures and whatever type of things that come into my head. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I'm gonna keep refining some of these little pockets of shadows here and there inside the leaves, but um, you will soon see the finished product. With with its with it being in its environment as well. Every time I look back at this when I'm done, I'm always like, oh, there's a spot, there's a spot, there's a spot that I need to fix, or I need to add a little bit more shadow. It's just like, it just never ends, you know? It's like, stop it, Win, stop. You're good. It's like, no, but I have to do more. I have to do more. You don't have to do more, it's already good enough. But, All right. There it is. Yeah, I'm gonna again start doing the landscape, and then in a minute or so, or yeah, in about a minute, I don't know, you're gonna see the finished product. So be right back. All right, guys, so this is the finished product or the finished drawing. I did a little bit of landscape down here. It really wasn't the main focus point of this drawing, and I added a little bit of shading in the back. I don't know if you can see it, a little blue and yellow, just to create that little sunset type of vibe. But this is it. Plumeria, the plant emu, I don't know, the tropical emu that's adorned with beautiful flowers and fruit. All right. Thank you so much for watching this video and being here with me. It really means a lot. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe. And yeah, I will see you on the next video. And can't wait to see what I'll be drawing next. All right, you guys, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.